Hi, and welcome to Zionist Crossroads, Summit Zioni, with Raz Telchai, talking to you from Jerusalem, the eternal capital of the Jewish nation. Join me for a few minutes of Zionist thought, inspiration, and action plans. My original intent was to talk about Jewish Democrats, or just Democrats, or liberals, lefties, progressives, whatever you prefer to be called these days. These titles are your god, but I found I could muster no passion on the subject. You bore me. You live in a fantasy world with no concept of reality. You would never let little things like inconvenient facts get in the way of truth. I welcome your debate, for you expose yourself in your every word and action. Please do not insinuate those of us on the right, conservatives, do not care about the way we affect the world, the environment, or human rights. Those decade-old attacks are just your childish attempts to impugn conservatives. In America, your objects of hatred are big business. You know, those capitalist pigs who provide you with your job, and regardless of what your spin doctors say, do pay the bulk of the taxes. The military. You vilify our boys and girls for the actions of a few, and your shouts of keeping the soldiers safe by bringing them home are at best ridiculous. Just what is it you think a military is for? To look impressive while you diplomats and intellects play mental and political masturbation as a very real enemy contemplates a world dominated by Sharia law and is willing to kill to achieve this goal? Then there is George W. Bush, the liberal definition of evil. Certainly not a pillar of conservative leadership, but a man willing to name and go after the enemy. Yet while this man has done nothing to disrespect the office of which he holds, you cannot see past your hatred. You have shown disrespect to both the man and the office. Could it be because of the damage your lauded Clinton did to the office as he weakened our intelligence and military? He was most certainly exercising his presidential muscles in other ways. Your surreal rantings of stolen elections and conspiracies. And of course, there is the United States and God. With your misrepresentation of separation of church and state. Here is a clue. In a country that was founded on Judeo-Christian values, there says nothing in the U.S. Constitution about separation of church and state. Only that the state shall not declare a state church. There is a difference. And let's be honest. As Jews, you live in a country that is upwards from 90% Christian. Please do not get me wrong. I'm a proud American. I am proud to have been born in a country that has brought more freedom and given away more of its wealth to others in need than any society in history. But I was never a Jew who was afraid of the dual loyalty label. There was or is no dual loyalty. Am Yisrael has long been what has defined me, and there can be no separation between the land and the people. Although throughout America's 200-plus years, Jews have had their difficulties, and now you are more or less free to be Jews, remember, you are still just guests. For no matter how you try to shed yourself of the honor of being a Jew, you are, first and foremost, Jews. You on the left with your idols and your heroes, and a strange list it is, Chavez, Stalin, Chomsky, Soros, and other Marxist members of the MoveOn.org, Nancy Pelosi, Carl Levin, Saddam Hussein, Yasser Arafat. This is the mentality you choose to marinate yourselves in. There are those that claim that America is hated around the world. I say envied, not hated. How else do you explain the millions of people risking their lives to enter this oh-so-hated country, legally or illegally, every year? Here in Israel, our blindness to reality is never-ending, while Arafat, Abu Mazen, Hanaya specifically tell us that any land concessions by Israel are a prelude in their attempt to rid the area of a Jewish nation. You still have those that choose to believe that there can be peace with a people who have been trying to dominate or kill us since its inception over 1,400 years ago. And someone tell me how Jews giving up more of their land to a hostile people and Jew-free zones will ensure peace. Where are our true leaders? Where are the ones who say enough is enough? Sons of Ishmael, you have your 22 nations, we have our one. Jerusalem is the Jewish capital of the Jewish state, period. Today Israel has the power to eliminate its enemies, but not the will. Today our enemies have the will to eliminate Israel, but not the power. Very soon our enemies will have both. Iran has declared war on Israel. Hamas stands by its charter to kill the Jews, as does Hezbollah. Yet the left continues to make excuses for these terrorists. George W. Bush in 2001, after 9/11, said that America will reserve the right to preempt further terrorist attacks, that America would not wait to be attacked again. Why can't Israel apply the very same principle? Were Israel to manifest its military strength against these vicious enemies, it will result in world hatred and condemnation? So what? The world hates and condemns Israel now. Are we afraid we will lose our international friends? What friends? My parents grew up among giants, the Churchills and Pattons, Jabotinsky. My generation has grown up amongst midgets, allowing this treacherous entity known as the UN to cripple the entire world. Decades of abject failure, and they are still paid homage by the pipsqueaks of this world. And now we are allowing them to protect our northern border? I just don't understand this. Well, it seems I'm a bit more passionate on this subject than I stated, so join me again for more of Zionist Crossroads, and we continue to discuss how the liberal left, in academia, and the media, and in the UN are the true enemies of freedom and peace. Thank you for joining me, and please address all comments on this show to raztelchai@netscape.net. This is Raz Tel Chai for Israel National Radio and Arutz Sheva, wishing you all a week of hope and inspiration.